tonight, please join me in welcoming Jenna Hager-Bush, who will introduce Her Majesty.
Thank you, Dr. Marks, Your Majesty, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the cultural phenomenon that is the New York Public Library. It is a pleasure to be with all of you today as we celebrate the state visit by their Majesties, King Charles III and Queen Camilla. Like many of you, reading has been a constant in my life, a North Star. For me, falling in love with the company of books was hereditary. After all, I have a librarian as a mother whose cat was named Dewey after the Dewey Decimal System. My grandmother adored reading, so much that in the last years of her life, after her eyes had failed her, she and I laid in bed and listened to her beloved Jane Austen. She also had a needlepoint pillow on her couch that read simply, "Reading is sexy." And I think we all can agree with that statement. This afternoon with Her Majesty is even more meaningful because books are part of her DNA too. It was her beloved father who read to her every night. He not only read, he brought the books to life. She has said, "My father read to me, and that sparked my love of reading. It is something I have carried with me all of my life." We know that finding the right book at the right time can change lives, which is why it is more important than ever that we protect books at all costs. Yeah, y'all can clap. It has been part of my life's work, my life's purpose, to celebrate authors and the worlds that they create through my book club, Read with Jenna. And I'm thrilled that some of those authors are here with us today. I had the pleasure of connecting with the Queen's Reading Room in 2021, and it has been a great delight to share a common love of books with the Queen and a shared determination to make room for them in as many hearts and homes as possible. Today is a celebration of literature, of the art of storytelling, and of our amazing book communities. Our sincere thanks to the CVC for their support today and for their commitment to education and literacy, which sits so closely alongside the charitable mission of the Queen's Reading Room. I am so thrilled to this afternoon to introduce a great friend for all of us who love literature, and exactly the kind of friend we all wish could be a member of one of our book clubs. Please welcome Her Majesty, Queen Camilla.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping my voice isn't going to conk out before the end of this speech, but as you can imagine, I have been talking quite a lot over the last few days. Anyway, it's a huge pleasure to be with you all today at the New York Public Library, one of the world's greatest libraries and somewhere I've always wanted to visit. Now, it was exactly 85 years ago a kind of cultural exchange took place when the British journalist Alistair Cook fell in love with this city and became a citizen of the United States. For 58 years, he hosted the radio program Letter from America, with the aim of explaining American life to a British audience. He did much to deepen the precious friendship between our two countries, perhaps because, as he said of himself, after all these years in America, I've become bilingual. Now, Alistair Cook was a genuine wordsmith with a profound passion for books. He once quoted the poet Donald Hall, who said, "When we read great literature, something changes in us that stays changed." If this is true, and I for one believe it is, then this library, through its old alchemy, changes its visitors for the better. We might even describe it as an enchanted place, in that it has similarities with the 100-acre wood where Winnie the Pooh and his friends lived before they began their pilgrimage to set up home in this very building, in another cultural exchange. Of course, we in Britain have benefited enormously from those who have crossed the pond in the opposite direction, including, amongst many others, the literary giants Henry James, T.S. Eliot, and Sylvia Plath. More recently, you lent us the wonderful writer Bill Bryson, who listed a few things he loves about the UK: Marmite, village fates, country lanes, people saying mustn't grumble, although we grumble all the time, milk in bottles, beans on toast, and a hot water bottle, which is a necessity. He might have added that another necessity, wherever we are from, is literature. The brilliant Joan Didion, whose papers, I believe, are safely stored here, said it best: "We tell ourselves stories in order to live." We all need stories, therefore we all need books. This is something I've always known to be true, thanks in large part to my papa, who inspired in his 3 children a lifelong passion for reading. Indeed, the first Americans I knew and loved were the characters I met in my treasured childhood novels: Little Women, What Katy Did, Charlotte's Web. I knew even then that books are the best friends you can have, in good times and in bad. For that reason, 5 years ago, during the global pandemic, I decided to launch my own informal book club on Instagram, simply recommending books I'd enjoyed in hope that others might enjoy them too. Happily, the club, which I call my reading room, took off and grew beyond my wildest dreams. 12 American authors has featured thus far, including Paul Gallico, Bonnie Garmus, Anne Pratchett, Min Jin Lee, and Donna Tartt. And we've been lucky enough to welcome 3 to our festivals: Harlan Coben, Julia Quinn, and Christine Hanna. Our online content now reaches more than 12 million people in 183 countries across the world. 3 years ago, we became a charity, encouraging the joy and value of reading and helping to get books to people who really need them, including survivors of domestic and sexual violence. As we undertake research, one of our studies has established that even 5 minutes of reading per day can reduce your stress levels by almost 20% and enhance your mental well-being. As many of us have long suspected, books really are good for us. They also have a magic way of bringing people together with their ability to transcend any barrier. It's for that reason that I already feel at home with you here in these hallowed rooms, where your mission is to inspire lifelong learning, advance knowledge, and strengthen our communities. I would be delighted if my reading room could join the grand tradition of cultural exchange between our 2 countries, and if we might all work together to spread the word that, as Alistair Cook and John Steinbeck said, there are never enough books. Thank you.